You just said Kronos at the end.
Kronos.
What does that mean?
I have no
Time.
clue.
Kronos definition.
Time in
yes.
Greek.
Oh, okay.
Bitch.
Oh, it's the personification
Uneducated.
of time in the pre-Socratic philosophy and later literature.
I know that from I think Tears of the Kingdom or
Chrono Trigger.
Breath of the Wild. I don't know.
I just know that by education.
Thoughts?
Pull up the rankings.
Ranking.
Don't worry, Brunny. I have you for. Don't worry, Brunny. I have you fifth.
You're fifth.
You're fifth.
Even he's in the joke. Come on, guys.
PSN. The joke's in the chat. All you have to do is use your eyes. Stop being a bellend.
Rankings.
Above Antrix.
Below
Taco.
Above Taco.
No, below Taco.
Below Taco.
Above Antrix.
How do you spell his name again? Hero.
This track solidified a thought I was having, which is that I'm getting bored at MK2 plus what's it called? A launchpad combo. Like when I see a looper that has that combo, they for some reasons they sound a bit similar. Like I don't know. It feels like the less they have, the more unique they can sound. But with the more they have,
Yep, that's fair. To both what you said, Mr. Isuo and PSN.
Did I say something?
Yeah, Launchpad is not second device. I know that, bro.
Running.
But that doesn't matter. Now
shout out Tuna. My favorite plant.
Tuna or tacos? Chat.
What?
I mean, if we're talking
comparison is
versatility,
that?
it's not even a debate. It's easily tacos.
Yeah. So much variety.
What?
But on like a one-off, a tuna steak, yo.
That's not bad. But also,
We should
you know,
stop
like
this
my
and rank
culture,
food.
I think I gotta, you know. I
Yeah,
gotta pick
you and
the
your
obvious.
culture.
Oh, yeah, me and my culture.
Yeah, you and your culture.
Yeah, okay.
Wow, you think you're all that?
Viking.
Yeah, what?
Bro, KBA built like.
I'm about to go. You know what Vikings used to do? It's actually really bad.
I don't think I want to know.
Do you want a history lesson?
Nope. Rankings.
Below
So
news.
basically, what the
Below
Vikings
notes.
used to do is like they go on ships, right? And then they just sail around England. And every time they find a town, they'd go and they just like literally kill all the men and children, rape all the women, and then burn everything down.
The
That's
good
what
old
Vikings
days,
used to
right?
do.
Hey,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that was our list of the GBB24 Loopstation wildcards with
Yes.
KBA's rankings.
What's
Followed
my top
by
6? I have no idea.
PSN's rankings. So the top 6
What?
in KBA.
Cardona, Brez, Saijo, Yasweed, Mirza, Rage. Okay, that's pretty good.
What's my
Cardona.
Top 6 and PSN.
wait? I'm trying to find the live stream so I can see
Cardona,
the-
Mirza, Brez, Taco, Yasweed, Nils.
What do you ask? Where would I realistically place him?
Who?
It's just top 6. This
On this list? Okay, I'll place Bronny realistically. Pull up.
All right, here's
Oh.
your list.
Okay, below Cardona, below Brez, below Saijo, below Yasweed, below Mirza. In between Impotence and Sebi.
All right. There's KBA's official list of all the wild cards in this list that we have ranked.
You watch Sebi but not Harvey. Listen, we've been watching loop videos for 3 hours. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be here
Gonna
for
be
another
watching?
4.
What?
Oh, and we forgot some people. Oh no. Anyway, if you're upset about people we forgot, cry in your room.
Get wrecked. Or donate. If you donate, we have funds to. What? Then we're done.
Yeah, we
Will
are
you
done.
continue later or not? No.
With what? With life? Yes.
With life, yes. Streaming, watching oil box music. Very doubtful.
Yeah, I think of all of the live streams we did reacting to wildcards, this is the one that I felt most disconnected with the whole proposal of GBB. You know, like I felt like this is losing sense. Like this is not beatbox. This is not even plastic box. This is what is this?
For me, this one falls into the vibe of I had to make a wild card to get into GBBs, so I'm going to do some sick drops and a rap and see where I get. But it doesn't actually feel like he wanted to make this track.
Wait,
Like I don't
do
think
find
this
Music
track wouldn't have
shouldn't be a
existed.
competition. Agreed.
This track wouldn't have
It's-
existed if it wasn't for the GBB wildcard competition.
You mean that generally?
What?
KBA, you mean that generally
Generally, as in, what do you mean generally?
for all the wild cards or for my
No,
Hero?
no, no. I mean specifically for my hero. I'm saying
Oh yes.
this track exists because GBB wildcards were coming up, and he had to make something that he felt would get himself in. And therefore, it kind of lacks what I like in music, which is identity. Yeah.
Yes. ID. That's it. I'm amazed at how we only have a few OG loopers. Like we have
Yeah,
not even OG, but recognizable loopers. Like we have Mercer, Brez, Sidjo.
But you know why? I think it's very clear the reason why is because the guys who have been in the game for a longer time have had more time to work on what they actually like to be and what they want to be. So it's just a very simple question of, you know, finding your place in the music hierarchy. And it's really weird with beatboxing. I was thinking about this the other day. In pretty much any other music community, people are gathered for their love of like a specific type of music, right? Like
100%.
when I go listen to drum and bass, like everyone I hang out with also listens to drum and bass, right? So it's like people go to music events for the music, right? Beatboxing, people are collected not by the music itself, but the way
By
of
the
making music.
instrument.
Exactly, by the instrument.
Like if you were going to
So-
a concert to see guitar playing, like but is
yeah,
it
exactly.
rock?
It's
Is
it's
it
like
was it
it's really it's in this like kind of weird niche because it's a music festival. Like GBB is a music festival, but the focus is on the beatboxing rather than on the music. Like it's on the way the music is made rather than how the music sounds. So so we kind of gather into this weird space where people who want to get far into the beatboxing community see it as well. The way I get to the festivals is by becoming as technically proficient as possible. Now, what that harms is the fact that because people focus so much on becoming technically proficient, they kind of forget that in order to be at a music festival or at any music festival in general, like you need to have some sort of identity that people can resonate with. You need to have a style. And that's, I mean, these are style and identity are fluffy words, right? And there's no real way to identify what a style is, or we can't really classify what an identity is. But
You know it when you see it.
yeah, it's like it's a feeling, and it's and someone like my hero, it's pretty obvious that he's very good at what he's doing, right? It's the same with, like, for example, I kind of also grilled Antrix for this as well in this specific wildcard. Like, you can tell that they're very good at what they're doing, but what separates good musicians from great musicians is that there's this sort of like connective emotion or something that they want to portray more so than just this is a good song. Like, why are you making this song in the first place? And I think that kind of reflects why I have the 6 people I have. Am I against competition in general then, as music isn't really judgeable? It's weird for me because I can't lie, I like competing. But at the same time, I also don't feel comfortable defining myself as better or worse than anyone else. What is Casper yapping about? Use your brain. Just it's this really weird scenario where people that focus on becoming technically proficient make objectively good sounding stuff, but I couldn't tell you what the purpose of the last track is that we saw.
I want to counterpoint that, or actually ask you.
Sure.
I do agree with everything you said, but for instance, every single track I did was legit. Like, I mess with the loop, I find a sound I like, and I'm like, yo, nice. And then I do a song around the sound I liked, and then it's the people's music. It's not my music anymore, and people find explanations that doesn't exist and whatnot. Like, they find, oh, retro,
but
8-bit, oh, video games. I'm like,
what's so interesting about that is, like, you're kind of the exception to the rule in that your style is the fact that you find weird sounds. Does that make sense? Like, you were, I mean, you still are, but especially during 2021. When was it that we were active? Was it 2021?
yeah, so long ago.
Fuck, it's 3 years ago. Yeah, so like back then, it's like, what made you so good that it was clear to me, at least, that what you really cared about was the sound, Like, you really care about sound. And that you're just a bro just chilling out, making sounds. And like that's actually something that comes across in all your tracks. It's like you don't have any tracks that are like directly hard hitting. It's just the bro vibing out to funny sounds. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So like you kind of
it is legit my workflow. It's legit like that. I find a sound I like, and then I create a track to play the sound I like.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that things like technique, mix, whatever, aren't important, because here I am. I'm literally known for technique and mix. Like, these are the things, like, if you'd ask anyone, like, what is he good at, it would probably be those 2 things. Like, those are things that elevate your music. Like, having good technique and having good mix are things that, when you have your musical identity, are
it's
things
the foundation.
That will boost. Exactly.
Bread and butter.
Exactly. Is like, if we could, yeah. It's like, if you wanna go see like a good movie, right? Of course you care about the quality of the film. You care about like the camera angles and shots they take. But what you really are there for is the plot and the message the movie sends. And it's the same with music. If you don't really feel like you're getting any message from that, then yeah.
Y'all know why Germany's comp last year exploded? Because every single person was lovely every moment, and it showed they all knew each other's tracks and showed up to see who could on that night be best beat. I don't know. True. I do find like the more we advance in technology, and that will never stop, the less fun is to watch like digital.
It takes away from the
music
beatboxing,
competitions.
right?
Yeah, like I think beatboxing battles are not going to stop being a thing, but Loopstation battles, I don't see that being a thing like in the
Yeah.
next 5 years. Like I think it's gonna be ditched by GBB. Like they're gonna let's.
They've
enjoy
already
that.
done it with the producer showcases, right? Nice to
Oh.
just go up there and do exactly what I wanted to. And then listen, if people don't like what I do, fair enough, right? Because like I said, we're united by our mode of making music, not by the music itself. So there's obviously going to be people who go, when I go up on the stage, will be like, oh, but I'm bored of drum and bass. I'm going to go home. And that's fine. That's the reality of the situation we're in. But
Yeah.
it was so freeing to be able to just go, okay, I have 8 minutes. I'm going to just bass out. Because if there's one thing that I like to do when I go to concerts and stuff, and it's kind of, formed a lot of my years recently, it's been drum and bass. So in the battle format, that's a wrong thing to do. Like if I did 6 drum and bass tracks in a battle, I'm getting knocked out in the semis, if not the quarterfinals. But in a showcase format, that's fine, because you're showcasing yourself rather than trying to beat someone else. Where's my wild card? It's coming.
I think it's interesting how when you say the producer category, when you mentioned the producer category, I did imagine, isn't it weird that we get someone like KBA, that's a weird guy, does like his 8-minute set.
Oh, someone
and
actually
bass.
brought up a really good point, So you make worse music to win a music battle. And yeah. Yes.
That's solid.
Yes. Yes. That's actually fucking
Not
fire.
wrong.
And it's so true. You know what? Chat's going to disagree with me, right? But I think easily my worst performance was Kickback and GBB. Kickback 21 and GBB 21. Easily. Like if there's one thing I'd wish I could redo, it'd be those two. Because especially the battles in Kickback, I look back at it now and I go, well, the ideas were cool, but it was pretty obvious I was trying to win. And I wasn't actually trying to be myself. And that kind of took away from the vibe. So, yeah, people are obviously going to disagree, right? But because that's when most people start to get to know me. But like when I look back, if there's one, like the tracks that I dislike from myself the most, it's Sky on Fire, and it's my second round versus Robin, which are also really oddly some of people's favorites of mine. And it's because
Yeah.
it's like it's the purpose of winning, and that doesn't feel right.
But I counter argue that that's not a counter, because I'm going to agree and just put another point on that.
Oh yeah, I love my
You-
seating round.
You did your your rounds and you felt like you were
Mhm.
trying to win, and that's why you don't like it looking back at it. I don't
Mhm.
like looking back at mine, not because I was trying to win. Exactly, not that. I was just I think it's called filling out the quota. I was just
Yeah.
meeting the deadlines,
Yeah, and that's the other issue, right? Is for Kickback, the deadlines were so strict that it was like literally all my rounds, all my battle rounds, I sat the day before and I made them. Because it was like, well, shit, okay,
Me too.
deadline for Kickback is coming up. Let's see what Mirza's done. Okay, Mirza's done that. I'll do this.
Yep. prior to
All my
recording.
rounds were
I
made
did
in one
correct.
day.
Yeah, me too.
Luckily, I
But
got to
you-
go second, right? So I was just like, I could kind of see what one person was doing, and I'd be like, okay, well, based on this, I can do that, and then kind of try and counter. So I actually think, looking back, I think my strategy for kickback was kind of perfect for winning a competition. Then obviously I came up against Robin. and
For
then-
winning a fucking watch, bro.
Yeah, for winning a
What?
watch. Yeah, you know what? To be fair, actually, forget everything I said. That watch was worth 35K. I would have
Damn.
listen. I would have sold my soul for that.
Oh my god.
I mean, y'all kind of won. You got a new gear.
That's the problem. I felt like I won once I got the gear. Once I got the gear, I felt uninspired to do the battles.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, well, now I have it.
Yeah, like I know I'm not gonna win a watch, and what the fuck? What if I win? I have a fucking cell phone. It shows me the time. I don't need a fucking watch.
Yeah, no, but
And-
bro, I was that was getting sold so quick. If it was me,
Yeah, 35 bands.
that was
is
getting
a lot of
sold
bands.
so quick, bro.
Yes, true.
That was out the day I had it unpackaged. It's off.
Oh, they're giving a watch to loopers as if we can't count time.
Well, to be fair, there's some loopers that definitely can't.
You're right. You got a point there.
Ow!
But no, I
Uh,
think I think I was actually really set on winning kickback. I thought for sure, I thought going into that, I was like, I'm gonna win. And then Robin just kind of became overpowered halfway through.
If you win, I'm pretty sure you can count.
If you win, I'm pretty sure you can count. So is that watch technically SBX's best prize? Yeah,
35K, bro.
bro.
Definitely. It's
forgot
a
which
lot of
Fortis
money.
it was.
What was the GBB solo?
Oh, actually, no. I'd rather win the GBB solo prize
What was that?
because it's cash. It's like
straight up
20K.
cash. Straight up 20K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I personally
Best
think
prize
like,
is love and friendship from the community. Listen, all my friends
Sure.
are getting dropped for 20K. I don't care. You're all gone. You're gone now. Someone offers me, yo, you can never talk to Mr. Asuo on PSN again for 20K. I'm grabbing that deal.
I
You guys are
wouldn't.
done. You guys are done.
Okay, buddy. I see. I know who the real ones are.
The
Well,
money.
I'm being very real. I'm being super real.
Actually, like that is like life-changing money around here, and I would still not do that. You know why? Because I am leftist and stupid.
Yeah, but you can be a leftist and
But
also
money.
want money.
Yeah, but money is not more important than the friends we have.
Amen.
Nah, fuck that. Money.
Yeah, money is good, but what is okay? Question for KBA.
Yeah.
Do you prefer being a millionaire, a lonely millionaire, or a struggling normal human with people that are around you?
What's struggling? How struggling are we talking?
What's it called? Check to check.
Then I'd rather be check to check. But
Aha. So you have some integrity. I see.
but for you two,
yo. I mean,
nah. But I think
it's. I think it's kind of fine because the relation we have is, even though it's something, it's not sustainable. If the power goes out, we don't have Wi-Fi. We don't see each other. Never. Like we can't. If the power runs out, what happens?
then what?
It's gone.
Well, I mean, personally, I'm like the entire my country's dead because it's pretty cold.
Send me
here.
your address right now, and then all that's fixed.
Okay. I'm not doing it now. I can't. Um, what were we talking about?
So being more depressed by the second. Oh.
Now, but my point is, you gotta make music for a reason. Doesn't matter if it's a competition or if it's not a competition. There's got to be a reason why you've made the song, and the
Podcast
reason you
vibes.
made the song can't be, well, I gotta win, because
But can-
well, if you,
Can
Yeah.
you say? Sorry.
it's like it's such a weird space, the beatboxing community, that we've devolved into this like space where we do what's favorable by accepting that you got to do what you got to do to make a wild card. You accept that you are better or worse than some people. Like by playing into the rules of the wild card, you play into this whole idea that music can be ranked. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do a wild card. I'm going to do a wild card, but I'm also not going to let my musical integrity take second place to winning a wild card. So, listen, I think my wild card for producer this year is very good. And I make some choices that are objectively wrong for a wild card. But I want to do it because it's what I like. And I'd rather have that than this listen, with my knowledge and technique, I could make something I think that could just objectively get in because I've done these wildcard competitions for so long now, and I've won pretty much every one of them since fuck knows, like since whenever. And at this point I'd rather just be myself and see what happens.
Good. Asuo? Thoughts?
There was one point you said where you should be wise about getting into yourself being ranked, whether it's harsh or not. I think it's
Mhm.
you can easily get maybe offended by a
Yep.
final ranking, but again, you are entering a music competition where you have to be ranked. You,
Yeah.
in my opinion, should not get mad.
Who got mad? Or is it hypothetical?
I'm just saying it's.
Yeah, in
I
general.
think it's easy. It's easy for you to get anyone to get mad or offended or, you know.
I mean, I'll be honest. After this GBB, well, the last one, I wasn't really mad because I kind of understood the point of I was competing with 5 other guys that are very talented, and to be second among those is quite mind blowing, and it's an honor. But at the same time, it's kind of impossible not to feel disappointed when you're so close to something and you
100%.
don't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in the moment, I was like, well, I kind of knew it was between me and Saijo. Like, kind of figured that part out. And I was like, listen, whatever happens, happens. But it's still annoying not to have gotten it, right? Even though like being first means nothing. I mean, the 5K, yeah, cool. Would have been nice. Could have bought myself like 5 prostitutes at least. But it doesn't really matter.
Is that because at one point you felt like it was right there?
Yeah. I think especially after my first day performance, before the rankings were announced, right? I was like, we chilling. Like I thought I had it.
Mhm.
I can't lie. Because I think I really delivered perfectly. Well, I didn't deliver perfectly, but I delivered very well. Um, And then I was like, okay, well then I woke up the next day and then I saw I was second in the rankings going into day 2, and I was like, okay, well, let's see. Maybe it's in between me and him, so it's just about whoever places higher on the second day. Um and from that point on, then when I was announced as second, I was like, fuck. You know what I mean? I was like, that was the opportunity.
Mhm.
Because I also really thought Feel Human was like, I was like, this is gonna be good, and it was like, listen, it was still good, and that's the thing, right? That's kind of the point you're making, is just because you finish below someone doesn't mean you're not good, and that's no shit, but it's kind of hard to internalize that idea, because I think kind of internally when we see we're like ranked below someone by an official rank, like it's kind of hard not to get it in your head that that's how it is. Like, yeah, you are worse than someone.
I might have the wrong impression that it's easier to keep yourself motivated when you have ups and downs. But
It's
when
easier or
you're
harder.
easier, I think. Like,
Hmm.
wait, what did I say? I already forgot.
I don't know, but okay, it's easier to keep yourself motivated.
Yeah, it's easier to keep yourself motivated when there's ups and downs. I think it's harder to keep yourself motivated when you're on a winning streak, you know? Like,
Hmm.
uh I started looping, I think, March 2020. COVID my fault, maybe. Uh and then in a month I enter a competition and won. In 2 months, whatever, second place, first place, blah, 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 blah. I was scaling up, and it wasn't in a normal, uh I wouldn't say normal, but everything I entered, I stood out, sort of thing. And then once I got to KBB, I I got to the first place wildcard. I was like, uh, yeah, I can't go bigger than this.
Yeah,
I
like you
like
have nothing more to prove.
yeah, like this is enough. I got a bunch of gear just for getting in. I was like, yeah, uh this is plenty. I feel like I completed my mission, and I I still keep trying to get back at it, but that fire is not there anymore, you know? Like,
Hmm. No.
I I completed it
Yeah.
in my books, you know? I was playing like in easy mode, and I uh completed the game. If I played in hard mode, there were more levels maybe, but
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I actually agree. I think there's definitely truth in that. Like, I think part of the reason why I did so well last year is because there was. I think people kind of, at least from my perspective, I think people were kind of underestimating me. Like, people were going like, "Oh, the Germans! Like, look at the Germans!" And then, people like, "Oh yeah, KBA is also there." And I was like, I'm gonna show everyone what I can do. So I kind of had this like like Frosty had been GBB vice champ, like the German champs had just happened, and I didn't really have any like competitions or anything to get into or do. So like, not to say that people forgot about me, but I didn't release anything for a long time. So I was kind of I had this motivation to show people that I was still up there. And then the way it kind of turned that around was, well, I said, I'm going to do that, but I'm also going to just be myself. And that kind of gave me this like perfect position of like motivation, like you said, feeling the need to prove something and scale upwards. But also, I was just happy with everything I made. So it was kind of that perfect position for me. And now I feel like this year it's really weird for me because I, I mean, second place at a GBB is pretty good. So I don't feel the need to prove anything. But now I think it's just for myself that I really want to win.
It's
That's just it.
it's weird that when I see a lot of like famous people saying like, "Oh, you don't want to be famous," and I do think of that like, isn't it weird? Like, let's say we participate. I think it's a dream of ours, maybe like internally, like a
Mhm.
little kid's dream too. Win GBB, have our videos have 10 million views, get TV shows to ask us to participate in it, get festivals to ask for us to play in it. But that's like if you stop to think about it, is is that what we want? Like, is that's what we want because we don't have it? But once we have it, I don't know if we want to be in that position. You know, like music
Mhm.
is such a personal thing to me, and I love to share it to people, and I'd love to make a living doing music. But when I think about it, like it's better when it's just for me. You know, like
Yep.
once I give it to the public, then it's more theirs than mine, and I feel like I don't know, like I'm losing the fire, like the fire is burning out.
Mhm. I'm really excited to see how this approach will be taken by the beatboxing community, because I think it's all good and well that we're saying this because we're musicians, and everyone who's listening right now I think also understands, because well, now they're kind of, anyone who's listened to us now understands where we are and what our mindset is, so they can kind of get into our position. But by far away the majority will go into every, it's just as an example, right? For Loop Mayhem last year, for Loop Mayhem, what was it? 2.1? I don't know. It was, no, not 2.1. 1.5. It was the summer one.
Uh,
We were just up there just doing our tracks, and what was really weird to me was like people came up to me after, like, and this is not everyone, by the way. I just want to disclose that. But people came up to me and were like, "Yo, like, this was my rankings for the Loop Mayhem showcases," and I was like, "Bro,
who the fuck asked?
bro, like, just enjoy it, like just enjoy the moment, Don't don't you know? I don't understand why there's this innate need in the beatboxing community that doesn't exist to the same degree in any other music competition or any other music platform, to rank people and to define who is better and who is worse. And it's really stupid we're saying this because we're literally sitting
Literally
here
ranking.
ranking Wildcard, right? And I just want to point out that hypocrisy before anyone else does it. But so we're kind of,
That's fine.
Well, I mean,
but
we're
but
not the
like
official
you,
judges, and
no, I
this is a competition.
exactly. So it is kind of this weird balance of like the biggest platform in the beatboxing community is a competition. Grand Beatbox Battle is the main platform as a beatboxer if you want to get recognized within the beatboxing community.
Yep.
So therefore, by default, anything that we do is going to be kind of related to this.
It's
It's
kind
the
of our
same way
nature.
that yeah. Um when you look at, I'm just going to relate this to drum and bass because it's what I know. When we look at drum and bass musicians, we kind of look at, oh, like I want to see this guy performing at this festival because, well, now he's released these tracks. They all sound sick. He's making a name for himself. I want to see him at D&B All Stars. I want to see him at Let It Roll. I want to see him at Rampage, at Boomtown,
I
whatever's
have no
the
clue
deal.
what that is.
They're all festivals.
Oh, I see.
Um, the kind of the issue that we get is that in drum and bass, if someone does really well, they will automatically be promoted through other people playing their tracks on stage, through doing back to backs, and by getting added as an extra by playing at clubs, right? Because drum and bass is you'll find a drum and bass scene in pretty much every capital city in Europe, and also in the US now. In beatboxing, there is the GBB. And in order for someone to make it in order for someone new to make it into the Grand Beatbox Battle, someone who was there before has to be out. I have Cardona. Fucking hell, I have to cough now. I have Cardona as my first. In order for Cardona to make it into this GBB, someone needs, from the original 8 loopers, who are all excellent, someone of those needs to go out. So we've kind of shot ourselves in the beatboxing community because we've built a scene that because the only real way right now to get recognized is through wildcards. You're forced into doing what's objectively good. And because people are forced into doing what's objectively good, people are losing their sense of identity.
What you just said reminds me of the cinema moment, like Hollywood, as in they're making stuff to reach quotas, but they're not letting the artists control it. And if the artists control it, maybe like 5 out of 10, maybe let's say 9 out of 10 movies are bad. Like just bad, objectively bad. But one is one struck gold. Nowadays, like all movies that are on the cinema are decent. Like they're technically decent. There isn't anything exactly wrong, but they're following a formula, and it's formulaic, it's boring, it doesn't have like the human aspect to it that is flaws. We are flawed.
Yeah.
And
kind of see it the same way that I see like Marvel movies, They're just shitting a new one out every year because
exactly.
Well, we have to make a Marvel movie.
Yeps.
And then fucking like, I don't know, Ant-Man 2 happens or whatever shit's going on now. I don't know. What Marvel movies are out right now?
Good ones.
If that proves my point.
I say that as a used to be avid Marvel fan.
It is capitalism in beatboxing. But what's so interesting about beatboxing is that the market is so small. Like, and the market has a definitive size, right? Let's say we're selling chocolate bars. Like, I'm selling Mars bars, Asuo is selling Kit Kats, and PSN wants to make a new chocolate bar. PSN making a new good chocolate bar will not necessarily take away from me and Mr. Asuo's markets. But if PSN wants to get into the GBB and me and Mr. Asuo are the ones in GBB, then one of us has to go. And the issue is because there's only GBB as a platform, only GBB. There is more, right?
Yeah.
But this is the main one. If you're from a country like mine that has virtually no looping scene, the only way I can get recognized for my work in the beatboxing community is through international tournaments. And, well, actually, I have a bunch of events coming up now. I have Loop Mayhem. I have the Hatten Beatbox Battle. And also, I can't reveal one I have yet, but I have a really cool one coming up. So there is more and more opportunities arising, and I really hope that that we'll start to see more focus on this, because I think the moment there's more competitions, people will just end up doing what they have to do, what they want to do, or just more events, festivals. I don't care. The problem is that there's only one right now. There's only one that people want to watch.
Someone commented something that I find it interesting. Mohammed. He said, like Brez is still trying to get in GBB for the 4th time in a row, and I'm like, there's no problem with that. But do you think if, like on 2019, if he won against Enemy, let's say against Inky, against Riftmine, got first place, would he try to enter other 3 times? No, because
Probably
he
you would've
fulfilled
maybe done
his
what Biscuit
objective.
did, right?
Maybe once.
I think most like of the guys that have been around for like a long time. Like, well, Brez is the guy who's been around for the longest. But other than that, like the only guys, if me and Brez make GBB this year, I think I found out that it was me, Brez, Matei, who have been performed in the last 3 years. None of us have won yet. I'm certain that the moment one of us wins, if one of us wins, we'd stop. Like at this point, if I win, I'm done.
Yeah, like enough.
Like I'll just go on to making drum and bass produced, becoming a DJ, do other stuff. But I think it's also just very reflected in my music, right? It's just my music's not beatboxing anymore. Like it's vocally sourced. To bring back the joke. But it is actually vocally sourced. But I'm only doing this because at this point I want the win for myself. I think the moment that's done, I'd probably end up doing what Hiss is doing, where he's just if I won last year, would I enter this year? I'd probably enter this year and just be myself, I think. I wouldn't try and win.
Like,
But I
yeah,
just-
exactly, like it wouldn't be with the same purpose. Like Biscuit, I don't think he entered thinking he would have won again.
Yeah.
I-
I mean, like, there's no doubt in my mind. I would have gone up there and done like 15 drum and bass drops in 8 minutes because it would have been funny as fuck. And maybe that would have done really well. But I wouldn't have done it to win. I'd have done it because it would have been funny and because I like that. But not. By the way, DS Cove, I also support Arsenal. It's quite cool. Yeah, I think so too, Whitney, actually. Like, I just, like, you know, I often get told, like, oh, you do drum and bass because, like, drum and bass is, like, hits hard live. I'm like, well, yeah. It's because I really like drum and bass. I think it sounds sick. It's just nice. Like, I don't really care. It's just cool. You know, that's it. And if people think I do that to win, sure, they can think so. But I, you know, like you heard my Robin remix before. I didn't have to do that because I wins, because I heard Robin's track and I was like, oh, I can make that into a fat drum and bass tune, and I did it. That's kind of my thought process now, is do what I want, and if I win, I win. If I don't, well, unlucky, bro.
KBA, legit question.
Yeah.
Let's say I have this.
Yeah.
This. Just melody. If I placed the drum and bass drums, then then this drum and bass. The song is drum and bass because of the drums and the bass.
You know what? I was actually having this talk with my brother, because I actually recently got my brother into drum and bass, and we were trying to he was trying to ask me like how do you actually define drum and bass? And it's so weird because the are the classic drum and bass drums, but you also and there's a lot more complex than that. So I think I can't really define what it is that is drum and bass, but I know that I like to go to drum and bass raves. All my favorite musicians make drum and bass. And all my Danish friends listen to drum and bass. So, I mean, there's no exact rules to the genre. It's at this point what I like. Yeah, it's the high tempo. It's the tempo is the only necessary thing, right? Is kind of needs to be in that 170 to 180 range. And then it can even be above 180, and then it can even be below 170. But it is just in that range, right?
Yeah.
What do you think of Chase and Status? I like Chase and Status. They're not my favorite.
Jason Statham.
Yeah, Jason Statham. They're not my favorite. It's not. I like it, and I like it when I hear it in a club. It's not something I go around listening to at home. I listen to a lot more of like the Cameron Crooked, like anyone who's on Cameron Crooked's label, like Modus, like that type of stuff is really my vibe. Like when you fuse like the cinematic stuff with the drum and bass, it just gets like, wow, that's the good juice. I also listen to a bit of Jump Up now, actually.
The good juice.
Yeah, good juice.
That's the saucy sauce.
EMB can be slower though, like UK Garage sounds. Yeah, I mean, listen, like UK Garage and like 140 stuff also gets played, but I wouldn't consider it drum and bass.
This
I was. That's not
wouldn't
drum
be
bass.
drum.
No.
What would it be?
Like break beat, I guess. I don't know.
What you said?
Break beat. Do I like Soda? Yes, there's actually this recent Soda track that I think is a 10 out of 10 called Pray For Me, which I think is like, oh, it's so good.
I like Pepsi.
Forget genres and make art. Yeah, that's true.
For real. I think
And
that's
I think
the whole gist.
just be
Yeah,
yourself.
well, like
If you like drum and bass, make drum and bass. If you like house, make house. If you like making gabber, make gabber. Do what you want. If you like Mr. Asuo, you're wrong.
Estrangeiro, cara.
Oh.
Yes, if you like Asuo, you should.
If you like oily Danish men with six pack and muscles. What was it
Not
saying?
me.
I'm not Danish.
All right. Well,
I can't really get that much up.
I'd say
Limiting yourself to a structure gives you more or less creativity. Less. It can be a good starting point, but don't. I'd say. I mean, by using the word limiting.
I think creativity can be a bad thing. Let's say someone asks. Let's say a company asks, "Oh, can you make a jingle for us?" And they don't say their name, they don't say their motto. You don't know anything about it. Then, like, you don't know what fits with that. You need a certain restraint. Be as it may, the BPM, the instrument, the target audience, the genre. You need something to restrain it. Otherwise, what are you doing? You don't need to, but I think when you do it, you reach more people, and that might be a goal you have or not.
Yep.
But if you're doing like a 10-hour live performance, like, yeah, sure, 2 or 3 like crackheads will like that, but yeah,
I'll be the one crackhead who likes it.
yes, because you do crack.
And with that, I think we should end the stream. I hope you all enjoyed the
Rankings.
philosophical chat. All right, guys, let's rank the last sentences we've all said. Like, what's been the sentence of the evening?
Yeah, guys, top 6 of
Tuna
midlife crisis.
Tuna number 1.
Rankings number 1, I think.
you know, we kind of just gave a
Right.
whole like podcast on it.
We did.
Yes, I think I'm gonna cut this video and just leave the podcast part of it and forget about
Honestly, you should.
Yeah, I think that's better. Then you're not gonna be doxxed. Then.
Yeah, bro.
Whitney just brought up a banger point. Once you understand the basics and execute them perfectly, once you learn the rules, you can break them. That's so true.
Yo,
You know what? That's a banger. That's a banger.
you're not wrong.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. Like, like for example, with drum and bass, like once you learn the fundamentals of it, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Remember,
Boy, I wish we couldn't get copyright strike for listening to drum and bass because I just show you guys some crazy drum and bass.
Well,
Actually,
you show it after stream.
yeah. Let's wrap this up.
All right, my friends. I hope you all enjoyed the stream. I hope you all enjoyed the podcast. Oh, Calix is a good name for D&B. That's a good name. Right, we're stopping. It's over.
This is KBA. Follow him and his.
This has been my PSN wildcard for
This
GBB
is-
2024.
Yeah,
The
so this is
longest
PSN's
wildcard.
wildcard.
Yes, thanks for watching. Hope I get in.
Bye bye.
Have fun. AMC is the GOAT. I will give you that.
Oh, the